clients are craving information. And I think all too often they jump to AI and they jump to ERPs and they jump to technology solutions to seek that data without understanding, like, where is that data going to come from?
I think what we're seeing so much in the clients that we work with, like that I've worked with, is a lot of chasing the shiny object, right? There's an idea or a problem that we think we can fix with an AI tool or some integrated software when they're not really stopping to think about the problem. Sure. And I think what we've started to become key advisors for these businesses in is, what is the right problem that I should be trying to solve with technology? Is there a problem that I should be trying to solve with technology? Because not every problem can be solved with a new ERP system or AI technology if you don't have a good understanding of the problem, but if you don't even have a starting of a solution without the technology. It can be a superpower, but it can also hold you back if you're not chasing the right things. And I think you've got some examples and things that you've seen too.
I think one of the things that we really help clients with is breaking down apprehension. And I can think of really, like, off the top of my head, there's a few examples of these shop supervisors that say, you know, don't give me a new spreadsheet, don't give me a new app. And I think one of the things that we do well through our deployment of a transformation or support on technology is we break down people's apprehension by making them understand that we're going to actually make it easier for them. Historically, those individuals have been shoved a spreadsheet or told to fill something out without actually understanding how it impacts them. And I see this as a common thing. Why should I care? I'm a shop supervisor. I come in early. I get my job done. I lead my guys, my people through the workday. You're asking me to do something extra. And I think actually one of the examples we're working on right now is we took the time to sit with the supervisors and show them that this deployment of technology is not actually additive. It's actually going to make things easier. And if it's not going to make things easier, it's definitely going to make things better. When you hear a supervisor say, thank you for not being like the other guys, what do you think about?
And I think, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, in terms of the supervisor response to it, it's often because of when they get involved in the opportunity rather than being told top down. What we're essentially talking about is the valleys of technology adoption, right? You have all these technologies, at one point the internet, and then Excel tools and Power BI reporting, and now we've got all these AI tools that are starting to come into play. There's always valleys in the adoption, right? You have the early adopters, you have a huge gap, and then all of a sudden people start to get on board. What we're talking about internally in organizations is how can we reduce the scale of those gaps? And I think what you're just describing there is exactly it. It's working with the people that are most likely to not be willing to leap from day one. It's not some CEO or some executive in a boardroom somewhere deciding that this is the direction that we're going to go or this is the tool that we need. It's working with the teams, with the supervisors, with the operators on the floor to figure out what is a tool that would actually have an impact, that wouldn't add work to your day. It's a problem that you would love solving that you can't figure out because you might not just have the exposure to the technology that our teams or other people within the organization might have.
One of the questions I get, or one of the frustrations or worries I get from CEOs and presidents is, you know, we're so behind. We're in a system 40 years ago, now barely being supported. We're almost being forced to adopt this technology. Like, how is my team going to do that? Sort of, what's your thoughts on that frightened or fear of being actually just left in the cold?
I think it comes back to the change management concept, right? Like, technology is no different than any other organizational change, whether it's changes in process or the behaviors that you're expecting out of your people. The system tools, the elements that we're talking about here are no different. It's how can we work with people to understand what their challenges are rather than what the challenges are, right? What are their challenges? Make it very personal, make it very specific. And through the horsepower that we as a consulting firm that focuses on the implementation can defer and give to the team by working shoulder to shoulder with them through the problems rather than just saying, good luck, here's a tool. I think that approach that we use for these other areas of the business is equally as beneficial, if not more beneficial, when it comes to the apprehension for things like technology and AI.
For sure. Like, do you bring the people in and then support the technology? Do you bring the technology in and support the people? And for me, I think one of the key things is it doesn't matter if you have the right people or the wrong people and you have a bad process. I think what makes technology actually activate in a business is the behavior. And behavior is supported by a solid process and the right system or management system, the right KPI.
Yeah.
So I think when we unpack with leaders, hey, there's a chicken and the egg, but really let's talk about this at a more holistic level. Let's make sure that we have the right process that calls for the right leaders. And we can educate, bring along, some leaders may choose to, take a different role or move into different things. Don't get inhibited or just handcuffed by feeling like your team is behind. 100%. Use technology, and certainly what we do in our engagements is use the deployment of technology as the opportunity to really energize the team. And to put it with no flashy words, give people an opportunity that are showing up to do better work than they did yesterday.
Yeah, use it to motivate rather than
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think there's so many fancy words. And so for me, it's like people show up wanting to do a good job. There's that supervisor that's been there for 20 years that is going to come and is going to commit. What am I going to do today to help that person's life become easier? Because he or she is going to inspire 10 or 15 other staff members to come along. And I think that's part of the secret sauce.
I like that because it's taking it beyond the impact of the tool or the system itself and realizing that the excitement or the energy or the motivation behind the growth that is required for something like this doesn't have to just be restricted to the technology.
For sure.
How can we change the mindset of an organization around this concept of change and growth?
For sure. There are so many technologies inside this bubble of AI, but what is underlying, and we see it consistently and where we support clients, is distilling down what the problem, constraint, KPIs, and behaviors we want are that AI will help us support. Not that AI is the solution. It's the key to unlock the door. We still have to walk through it.
Completely agree.